What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is the show about manhood, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And we'll probably sprinkle in some helpful real estate advice too, because that's what Pat and I do. You know, guys, life can be tough. We can go through some things and struggle at times, but this is the show to let you know that you're not alone. So if you're someone out there going through any of these things, this is the show for you. All right, guys, let's talk about something we all need. High quality, comfortable, stylish clothing that actually holds up in real life. Whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just hanging out, the Normal brand has you covered. I've been rocking their gear, and let me tell you, it's not your average clothing line. They've nailed it perfect with the perfect blend of durability, comfort, style, whether it's a go-to rugged Henley, a hoodie, a button-down that doesn't make you feel like a stiff, the Normal brand is where it's at. The best part is you can support the show while upgrading your wardrobe. Just hit the link in the description below. Check out their collection. Trust me, once you try it, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The Normal brand. Made for real life, built to last. Now go check them out.
Shout out to our friends over at Captain Beard Co. Guys, if you are looking for beard care products, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, give Captain Beard Co. a try. They have this unbelievable beard butter, balm, oils, and then it smells amazing. Ladies, if you're looking for something for your men as a gift to help with their grooming, check them out. Also, if you guys are looking to just set the mood one night, candles, unbelievably smelling candles, made with all natural ingredients here locally to St. Louis. Give them a shot. Also, while you're there, use the promo code Zach and Pat for 10% off your purchase.
Hey there, guys. I really appreciate you checking out the Zach and Pat Show. If you can obviously tell, we are a newer podcast, but one way we're really trying to grow the show is trying to get up the amount of subscribers we have. So, you know, if you're watching the show and you're getting something out of it, we'd really appreciate it if you could click that subscribe button. That would help us out a ton. Please click that button. And now back to the show. We have a very special guest in studio today. I've been anticipating this one for a while now. He is a husband, a father, the owner or previous owner of multiple physical therapy clinics, a custom home builder, the owner of Adventure Unknown, the great and powerful Scott Schuessler. Welcome, sir.
What's going on?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a day.
Yeah. Sorry if I come off heated, but yeah, it's been a rough one already. So
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Explain that to people.
it is. I love it when people say, I'm an entrepreneur. And I love that about them. But then I'm like, all right, what level of that are you? Or you just like to do your own thing? Or no, you got your hand in about 500 different things. And yeah, it's but entrepreneurship is awesome in many ways, you know.
Well, what's the origin story of Adventure Unknown, and you know, how did your previous lives, PT, home building, lead to this?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, where did this come from? Where's this idea from? It took me kind of a minute to figure out where it actually came from, but it did come back from my physical therapy days. I went to school, became a physical therapist, worked for a big company for about 10 years, and then, like most entrepreneurs, figure out, hey, I could do it better, and I don't like this or that about how my corporate structures tell me what I should or shouldn't do, and so they leave and they do their own thing. So the biggest hurdle that I love when entrepreneurs take is the risk of either putting their house on the line or doing some sort of when they leverage something of their own just to go out on their own. And that's where I see the main difference between entrepreneurs and people that say they're an entrepreneur that aren't, when they actually have to see where the motivation comes by either, taking a loan or leveraging whatever. So, but when I opened up my own practice, I had to put my house on the line, and so if I lost my practice, they take my house to it. And so my kids and my wife are SOL, I guess, so,
Yeah.
So, but long story short, I get to the end, and 9 years later, after owning my own practices, I wanted to sell. I was done. I couldn't handle Medicare insurance, all the BS that has to do with trying to collect a dollar. So I decided to sell, but I realized during my physical therapy days that I was gaining so much from my patients and the interaction with them that's where I learned to become an entrepreneur. So I'd be treating patients all day long. I'd be stretching them, mobilizing, doing whatever. I'd be having conversations with them one-on-one while I treat them for an hour or so. You treat them 2-3 times a week for a month or two, you kind of create relationships with all these people. So then it's like, well, hey, how do you make a living? What do you do that's unique? What's entrepreneurial about you? Well, it started with one patient who was going to run out of therapy. Everyone always runs out of therapy. And he says, well, hey, I still need therapy on my hip. And we talked. He's got a real estate or a house in Florida, and he rents it out. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to learn about it. He's like, you continue to treat me. You go to my place in Florida and hang out for a week and see what it's like down there. Because he short-term rentals it for vacation, people all the time. So we do that. I go down there, and long story short, 2 months later, I bought a house right across the street from him. So I'm in St. Louis. Now I'm running a short-term rental, property down there. And then, just continuing to have that relationship. Well, I'm going to take that and I'm going to multiply it. So I end up buying 5 more properties down in there and continue to
all in Florida,
all in Destin, all pretty much in the same neighborhood almost. So manage them from far away, 12-hour drive, and I'm managing short-term rentals. And so that's where my whole real estate, that's kind of where entrepreneurship took a more aggressive turn. So I had my own practice. I opened up a second practice, third practice, 4 or 5 practices. But then now I'm managing properties in Florida from afar, managing people to take care of all this stuff, dealing with 10 headaches a day with regards to people having broken down golf carts or, bed bugs or, stupid crap like that. But yeah. So then, but when I go to sell, I realize that I miss the ability to talk to people, for them to tell me, this is cool about life. This is a unique idea. Here's a great investment. Here's what I did, and here's where I failed, or this is where I grew. So that might be the answer to your question, is where Adventure Run came from, is the ability to have a place where I and everyone who's like me can hear from others, share stories, network, grow from each other. But it's just a place where what I say, awesome people want to hang out, and they don't know what they're going to get that day. They don't know what they're going to learn and what experiences they're going to gather, but they might come back and go home and say, dude, I had an epic day. Oh, what'd you do? I just hung out at this club, and holy crap.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sorry, I'll be quiet for a second.
No,
you're good. That was good.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, where it is now, is this where you saw it going, or do you where do you see it going?
Yeah, it's definitely there. For me, it's never good enough. It's never perfect. I'm never going to be complacent to where it's at. I got 80 members in a year and a half. Realistically, it's probably better than I thought I could get this quick, but you never know. You kind of hope and you push and you work so hard for it, and trying to, it truly was a build it and will they come business model, which, maybe it's not the best thing in the world to do, but my passion for it. And I knew there was enough people in this city that were all looking for the same thing. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the only one that had the balls to actually do it. So, that's me just trying to say, here's a spot, are you the right person for this vibe? Are you the right person that wants to give and not take? And are you going to add to this environment in a positive way all the time? And if that's it, then come hang out with us. And luckily, it's growing.
Well, what was like the first step? Like, what was this? Like, I guess obviously you found this building. What was this building for? Something I've always wanted to ask you.
It's a piece of junk, is what I say.
Yeah.
It was full of everybody's trash, and it's the truth. So, it was an auction site and a cleaning company.
Okay.
So imagine all these dirty cleaning machines and stuff sitting in the back. And that was the best part of it. The worst part of it was an auction company where you are moving, you're selling your house or whatever, and you need to get rid of a whole bunch of crap and you don't want to sell it yourself. So you put it in the back of your truck, you can come up here, you dump it in the warehouse, and you say, hey, sell this. And after you sell it, I'll come collect the check. Well, most people know about half that's not going to sell. Half of it's going to sit on the shelves because no one wants to buy it. So they've got hundreds or thousands of people's crap sitting on shelves in the back and, waiting for someone to come throw it away. So I bought the building, and they had to get rid of everything, but kind of forgot a lot of stuff. So they hauled out 6 or 7 tractor trailer full loads of junk that they had to move to their new warehouse. And then I brought in 6 full 40-foot dumpsters and filled those up with stuff.
Oh, wow.
6 40-foot.
Yeah. So really that's 12 40-foot containers full of crap.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's what it was. So I built it. When I wanted the nuts and bolts of the building, I wanted the tall ceilings. I wanted to be in the back corner that had this outdoor space because I wanted an outdoor environment here also. And so this was the building that I thought was going to be perfect for the club. So I waited. It took me 2 years to get the building under contract. I wasn't going to spend all this money when I didn't own the building. The owner was hard pressed not to sell, but he finally did. And but then I could take it and redid it and turn it into a wow, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a wow. Everybody I bring through those doors, it's certainly a wow. That's why there's a reason we tell the guests to come in through that door, not this one.
Yeah.
I mean, not that this is, it just looks like more like an office building back here, but like that, walking them through the whole kind of clubhouse portion of the building it's definitely a wow factor to it.
Yeah, and you get a lot of comments about the animals. So, it does. It looks like a hunting lodge, which is pretty cool. Explain that to us. Explain, was that kind of the goal? Kind of make it like a hunting lodge? Like, is that where you wanted to go? Or were you like, you know what? I killed all these animals. I need a place to put them.
Well, there's some of both, actually. I am a hunter. Yeah, my house is full of the taxidermy, so I didn't have any more space for it. So this was the overflow.
The leftover? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny. We went through the design. I had 2 ladies actually helping me design it. And, I had my ideas of what I wanted, but I wanted the lodge feel. I want the hunting to be part of the club, but, you don't have to be a hunter. There's a lot of non-hunters here. And there's a lot of females that are for sure not hunters. There actually are some hunters that are female that are members here too, but I didn't want the animals to be too much or overbearing that it scared people away. And one of the 2 ladies that helped me design this was super worried that one animal would scare everybody away. But by the end of the building process, she was like, all right, we need some more animals. We need some more animals. She got it because she started seeing all these people's responses. And that's where people gravitate to. They walk in, they say, what's that? Where's that from? It's not like, oh, you killed the animal. Yeah. If you're worried about the hunting, I mean, everything we do is definitely conservative based. We eat everything or we don't eat all the meat. So it's all done well, or however you want to say that, but ethically, there you go. But is it a petting zoo? It's just a wow. People can't. Have you seen a leopard up that close? That was a real leopard. But the best part about it is, yes, you can see that, but there's a story behind every single one of those animals, and to me, it's very personal. And for people that care, they get to hear the stories and how physically challenging this hunt was, or how I got to feed a whole village of people with this trip or that. And when you see people in it, our Africa or Argentina crying because you gave them, some ducks that you hunted, that meaning has a drastic effect on me. And then sometimes when they hear the stories. And so then now this place becomes a lot more personal. Yeah. So.
Was there one of the animals out there? Like, I'm sure like you said, every single one of them has a story. Is there one that sticks out for you?
Well, there's 3 of them out there that are tough. Well, in 2 weeks from tomorrow, I leave to go back to Kodiak Island, Alaska, where the largest breed of brown grizzly bears are on that island. And so I'm going back to actually get another one, hopefully a bigger one that I can full body mount and put in the club. But that's a scary hunt.
Oh yeah.
When you're sleeping, I mean, they fly you by float plane. They land you in the back part of this, huge island, and they say, "We'll see you in 12 days." And all you have is your gear and you're in a tent. So the only protection between you and a grizzly's claw is a piece of nylon that's a tent. So the hunt, you climb a mountain every morning, you go to the top, you glass, you look through binoculars for all day long, you try to find one. If you see it, you try to rush down the mountain, try to get ahead of it and see where it's going and try to sneak up on it if you can even find it again, and try to hunt it. that's hard, but that's the easy part of the hunt. The hard part is actually the mental game of, can you sleep throughout the night without saying, what was that? Oh shoot, what was that?
A twig break and you're like,
yeah.
oh, fuck.
I mean, you were in the middle of, you say nowhere, it's not nowhere even close to where we're at. I mean, these bears have never seen humans, or very rarely will they ever see a human. And so you don't know if, they're coming out of the dens as we speak, like right now. So they're thinking of two things right now, and they want to eat and they want to breed. And I don't care what you are, but you're getting out of their way. And so, this will be my biggest mental challenge here starting in 2 weeks. If I can get through that and be successful, I'll either be a very happy person in about a month, or I'll be not someone you want to talk to for a while.
How do you prepare for something like this? Do you is there like a training associated with it? Like how do you get ready for it?
Well, I've been doing CrossFit for the last
Hell
3 months. Yeah. So I'm not a CrossFit person, but I'm turning into it. But I've been working out 4 or 5 days a week, trying to be ready for that mentally. I talk about it a lot, just to not, to know that, hey, I've been in the exact same spot before, to not get psyched out. But, the more people I tell about it, the more people I would disappoint if I'd give up or what. But 90% of the people don't make it 12 days. If they don't shoot an animal in the first 4 or 5 days, most people quit. So they're like, I just need out of here. So, yeah.
How many days were you there the last time you went?
I shot it on day 4 on the last time, but I shot that, and I wanted to shoot that so bad. The second I got it, I'm like, get me off of this island. It's just me and my guy. That's it. There's two of us.
Two of you. That's it.
Sleeping in 2 tents and getting up every day and going after them. But he's like, hey, do you want to try to go up the mountain and try to shoot a fox? I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, I just killed a grizzly bear. Why the hell do I want to kill a fox?
Yeah, get me out of here.
So
I'm going to go shoot those in my backyard.
I want a roof over my head, please.
So I go home and I'm like, I'm never going back to that island ever again. And then here I am. I'm signed up again.
He's a glutton for punishment.
It's just that challenge, and maybe that's why I did the club. And that's why I build custom homes too. Yeah. It's weird. Like I'm a doctor of physical therapy, but I build custom homes. How did I do that?
How'd that come about?
Someone told me I couldn't do it. That's exactly right. I've been told don't open my own physical therapy practice. When I was working for someone else, I actually had a conversation with one of my bosses and said, hey, how much money do you think I can make if I did my own thing? And she was like, don't do it. It's not going to be worth it. You might make $10,000 more. Thank God she said that, because I'm doing it. I'm proving myself that I can beat that, what you just said. Just like someone said, oh, building custom homes is hard. It is. That's why they say most people get divorced when you're building homes. It's a lot. And there's at least 100 major headaches happen, in my opinion, when you build a house. And so that's why I do it. It was a challenge. Could I be good at it? Could I be better than someone who's done it for 20 years? Because I'm more personally focused on making sure that we get all the way to the end and still have a great relationship. And so I built Jim Avery. He's a member here too. I built his house. One of my
Beautiful house.
Yeah. A great friend of mine. He trusted me to build it. I'm like, I will not lose a relationship over a job. And so we're still great friends this day, and he has nothing but awesome things to say about me building homes. And so now I'm building a couple more homes for people around here. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How many homes do you typically do a year?
2.
2?
Yeah. That's my hope. Because I don't want to not be focused on them. So.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So so do you still own the properties in Florida?
Yeah. So I still have all those 6 properties. I've even bought a couple boats down there just to rent those out for day trips for people on vacation. Those are headaches in themselves,
sure.
Just with all the maintenance on them. So, and then I've gotten a lot more, or probably 10 properties around this area that I rent out for mostly long-term stuff.
Really?
So,
okay.
Was there any, you've done a lot, in all different things. Is there anything else that you're wanting to get into?
It's a good question. Everyone sees this place and the excitement we have here. It's probably a no-brainer to do the second Adventure Unknown and, start creating I don't know.
Network?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So people travel out of town. If you go to, let's say we have one in Nashville, you go to Nashville, you have meetings there, you meet new clients there, or you can network there. That might be the plan. I think we'll have a second one probably in St. Charles-ish area within the next year and a half, probably. My goal is by the end of this year to have a plan intact. If I can get this place full on a waiting list, then that will be the next focus. So.
Yeah. And what's the, I guess, at what point does it go onto a waiting list? Is there a certain amount of members?
My number, I think you guys as members are going to say, hey, I have a hard time doing what I want to because it's too busy here. And that, my guess is that number is about 120. So we're more than 2/3 of the way there. When we get to that point, we'll just say, well, wait till someone quits and then you can get in, you know.
Have you thought about enacting laws just to keep people more active and coming up, or like guidelines or rules to the club that to get people more active up here?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Some people are like, hey, you know, we see the same 50% of the people,
Yeah.
80, but that's kind of like a third's going to never use it. A third are going to use it a ton. Third's probably somewhere in the middle. I don't know but it's true here too.
Yeah.
But you know, if everyone came all the time, we'd probably be full right now.
Yeah, it's true.
And the hope is we just keep expanding and putting more amenities in. And, you know, after the gym, you know, we're doing a golf simulator, we're doing outdoors. What are we doing next? And I just want to, you know, as long as we start making money sometime, we'll keep spending spending it on the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for the people that have never been to Adventure Unknown before, what kind of amenity? I mean, we've probably talked about some of them here on the show, but what kind of amenities do we have here?
Well, the hope is to have as many environments or atmospheres as I could possibly get into a 22,000 square foot space. So, you know, there's offices, there's boardrooms, conference rooms, there's a cigar lounge or a speakeasy, there's open bar for you and your guests. There's an outdoor space right now for kind of a patio. And then we've got a big seminar room, seats about 50 or so, 55 people. We're putting in a gym as we speak, a full gym, bathroom, showers. We have a pickleball court and a stage. So we are able to pretty much do any kind of gathering, whether small, large, or, you know, probably up to 200 people. So, and then got about a fourth of the building left, and that's where we're talking another lounge or a golf simulator.
Maybe a jiu-jitsu dedicated space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We just taught a lesson up here last week. We're going to start to try to make it a somewhat regular thing. You do a little jiu-jitsu club inside the club, and
Heck
it'll
yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Just another thing to, you know, kind of add to the space. Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, same here. So you touched on this a little bit. So is motivation something that must be found or something that must be built?
That's a good question. I found or built? No, I'd probably say found. I mean, I found it because I learned that there's no better motivation for somebody than when you are personally invested in that situation. I learned that my physical therapy clinic would not fail because I knew I personally would be hurting if it failed, which actually only put my patients in the best possible situation, because I needed that patient to go to the doctor or to their friends and say, you know what, no matter how bad my problem was, my knee hurt, back hurt, whatever hurts, Scott fixed me. And if they didn't go tell their doctor to refer the rest of their patients to me, or their friends to refer patients to me, my business was going to fail. And so no matter what I needed to do, I needed to fix those patients. And every single patient that walked in the door I had to fix, because if not, I lose my house.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that was, I mean, it's true. I mean, I had several $100,000 personal guarantee on, you know, a 5-year lease. So it was always in my mind, but that, you know, that personal, all that reason for I could not fail was my best motivation. And so did I find it? I built it, but I probably just realized that, you know, Anyone that goes out on their own and takes that leap, which it's kind of my personal reason why wanting to grow this club is because I love getting people to understand that if they step out of their comfort zone and they put some risk involved, their chances are, they're going to succeed. Chances are those rewards are significantly higher than if they were not personally guaranteeing the success of that business. So
what's the gnarliest moment you've ever had pushing yourself outside your comfort zone? So this could be like a hunt. I guess this could be, opening Adventure Unknown, could be, doing the physical therapy practices. Is there one that really you're like, man, this was probably the hardest thing that I've ever done?
the club's probably the hardest because, I go in this not making a dollar. There's no profit to be made for what I thought was going to be at least 2 years. And that's true. I haven't taken $1 from this place. It's all gone right back into it. But the challenges that are coming from here is not what I thought. I thought the challenge would be trying to get people to join. In the first few months, it was hard to get momentum going. But once that was going, that challenge that I thought kind of went away. Now the challenge was like dealing with the city and dealing with zoning and stuff. I'm like, I had no expectation that was for 6-7 months. That was disastrous. I mean, it was so draining. Like, I didn't even see this coming. I didn't know that this wasn't going to work or this was going to be a challenge. And then, so the whole mindset of politics changed for me. It's like, politics, I don't really care about. I care about city governments now.
Yeah.
I think, making sure the right people are there and are there to help support the entrepreneurs, the small business guys. That's where we need to focus our energy on.
Well, you've talked about comfort and discomfort. Why do you think discomfort is so essential for self-discovery?
If you're not comfortable being discomfortable or uncomfortable, then you're going to probably have a bigger challenge. Because, even this morning, I have 4 to 5 people standing in front of me, most times all wanting something from me or an answer, or, I'm trying to do general contract, the construction here. And then I'm dealing with the inspectors, and then I'm dealing with trying to network, and I'm trying to show the space off to potential members, and I'm trying to plan an event that's tomorrow night. The list goes on, and there's no comfortness about that at all. About, can I get this task done before the next task, comes on my plate? They're coming on by 10s and 20, and I can't get one done before 3 more show up. So if you're not okay with, that situation, then I kind of question how entrepreneurial are you, I guess, or how up for the challenge are you? Maybe I'm mean, but
Yeah. Well, if you had to, if you had to start over right now, was there anything you do differently as far as the club?
Well, I thought I did everything right with the city. I went and sat and talked to them, and I said, okay, I'm a new business owner in this town. What do I need to do? And they said, fill out this form, and occupancy was good, and classification of my business was right. And so I thought I did what I needed to do, but it's obviously not. I needed a more understanding and more backing by the entire city government, not just, one individual there. But, a more focused approach on the direction of where this club, in hindsight's 2020, I know where it's going now. If I would have known this specific direction, I didn't know if it would be more social or more business or more networking or more. I didn't know who. We were so worried that it was going to be too much of a guys club and not a couples, or not a guys club, girls club, couples club, all in one. But that's been a challenge. Like, what is this place? Well, okay, let me try to explain this to you.
Yeah.
I explain it different every time I say, and it is hard because it's not a square peg that I'm trying to describe to everybody.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah.
I struggle to explain it as well. I'm always like, it's a entrepreneur travel, business club, but there's a clubhouse and they got all these things. It's like
like the country club without the golf course So I mean, we're up here every day, and
Oh, yeah.
we do
I
it.
mean, you and I
met
work
a
outta
lot of
here.
really cool people. I mean, like the one day you walked out there, hey, I need a structural engineer. Just happened to be
one
a structural
there.
engineer here.
I was like, hey, anybody know a structural engineer? And there was just a guy, I think he was in like, just like looking at the club, or I think he was a friend of Corey's or something. He's like, I am. And I was like, fuck, that's why I love this place.
Yeah.
It's like,
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know. It's just, it's so cool.
Well, and then the other cool aspect that we haven't really touched on, but Zach just mentioned, is the travel aspect of it. Was that the goal and from the start? Because I mean, the name's Adventure Unknown, so obviously going on adventures, you like to travel. You go. I mean, shoot, I feel like you're gone every month for at least 2 weeks. Getting you in here was it's been a work in progress to get you in here, but the travel aspect, was that a major component when setting this up?
It really was. And you're right. I mean, Adventure Unknown, it was kind of cool how we thought of that name. Actually, my daughter created, because we love the word adventure, but we didn't know how to get people to go out of their comfort zone. And then all of a sudden she just screamed out, well, what about Adventure Unknown? And it was immediately, that was the
rolls
name.
off the tongue, nice, yeah.
But it all came down to, and this started before, this is early on, it's probably like 10, 12 years ago, where, we love to travel. No, that's obvious. But what we also love to do is bring our friends on our trips with us. And that's a challenge. To try to get your buddy and his friend or family to go on a trip, that should be the easiest thing to do. But get people to stop life, stop work, not go to their kids' baseball practice or skip one weekend of whatever sports, that's difficult. And so we took it as a personal challenge. Hey, if we create a trip where everything is taken care of, all the details are, all you do is show up at an airport, and one, it's cheaper because we'll negotiate, and two, there's more red carpet amenities that come along with that trip. Can I get you to say yes? Always. I'm in. Okay. All right. A week later, we need everyone's $500 deposit. All the hands go down and say, I got baseball practice, I got dance practice, I got to work, or every excuse in the book. So trying to get people to join us, I mean, it happened, but it was always a little bit of a struggle. So, but what we realized is that we'd have this friend group and this friend group, and we get one couple from this friend group and another couple from this friend group, and we go on this trip and we have an awesome time, and we get back and it's obvious. Everyone's like, oh, thank you so much for making me stop life. Thanks for making me go on this trip. Thanks for taking care of everything. It's awesome. So we feel accomplished because we got people to step out of their comfort zone, at least for a while, and get off the grid or what. But why this became part of this club so early on is that because the two different couples that didn't know each other that went with us became such good friends on that trip. We commonly saw them doing business together the next week. Like, we get back on Sunday, and then Tuesday night I get a call and say, hey, yeah, I just met with so-and-so who's on the trip with us. I think we're doing business together. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, it was so quick. It's like, where else can you create and develop a relationship that fast that you trust each other and you actually want to do business together? So that idea started a decade or more ago. And then the whole idea of the clubhouse came on when I was selling my physical therapy practices, because I'd lose my ability of where to go to hang out and to network. So it all kind of came together. I mean, there's more reasons why the club is the club, but those are the two main things of answering the question where, and then trying to create those strong relationships quickly.
Well, I mean, it goes back to like when we're kids, we always wanted to have that clubhouse where we always met our friends up to just like that. Hey, this is our meeting spot, But no, and now we're just bigger kids.
Yeah, bigger kids. Well, you're so right with the bringing people together like that, and you become good friends when you go through experiences, whether that's a trip or you started doing CrossFit. I bet you met some people at the CrossFit gym, and like you guys are going through hard shit together all the time, and you become friends when you do hard shit together. And I just think that's so interesting that when you, no matter what it is, whether it's, I think it's just all about experiencing. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a tough workout or something, but it's just like you go and experience things together, and like just builds relationships. At least that's what I found in my life, whether it's, my fraternity or all these other things that we, or I made some of my like best friends. It was all through like doing shit together. It wasn't not just because we went to school together or one of these things. It was about like doing stuff after hours with each other, the long nights, the having fun, the going on trips, all that. I mean, that's how I think that's how the best relationships are made.
I agree.
Yeah.
And again, the adventure unknown. If you're going on an adventure and you don't know what to expect, the excitement that comes out of that is much higher. But even when you just sit in the clubhouse and your example of just meeting somebody new that was totally unexpected, it's like, wow, because I'm here, one little kind of stupid problem just went away really fast. And how many of those can you fix in a year? Hopefully it makes it worthwhile.
For sure. Out of all the trips you guys have gone on so far, which one has been your favorite?
Africa is hard to beat.
Yeah.
I've been to Africa 3 times. I will never stop. I mean, I used to love going to Cancun, all inclusives, and spoiled, eat all you want, drink all you want. And I thought we were being treated well, but you go to Africa, it's a totally different ballgame. I mean, they love Americans. They're so friendly. They're so genuine. They want to make sure you have the best time, and it's a whole different ballgame over there. I love it. The animals are one thing. They're awesome. We've done hunting safaris. We've done photo safaris. We've done just sightseeing trips to the, Cape Town and Johannesburg and what. So we've done a lot of different, focuses on trips there. And they're all the same. I mean, it's just mainly the people. They're just a different, you'd say a different breed, but they make us look like, like Americans. Yeah.
What when you were down there, what were you hunting?
So the leopard is that's full body out in the club. That's probably the most. It's definitely the most exciting. You ever want to clean your drawers on a trip? Yeah.
How did that come about? Or the
well,
story behind that one.
I mean, just like animals here, they have to be thinned. There's so many leopards over there, and that's a dangerous animal. I mean,
Nothing hunts them.
Nope, you're right. So, I mean, they're faster than 99% of the animals over there, and or if not all of them, but you're right. There's too many, and they're eating dogs and cattle, and kids are not off the menu there. So, the conservation department in Africa says we need to thin this by X amount every year, and so they hire. They I guess give the authority to certain outfitters that you have to hunt X of these. If you don't fill your quota, they give that quota to someone else next year. And so then their business
suffers. Yeah.
So Americans pay to go over there and hunt these, and they make it an awesome experience, but it's tough. I mean, it was life-changing because I saw there was 26 people that were all Africans helping me and only me hunt this one leopard. It took 4.5 days to find the leopard and to shoot it. But so you start seeing like, hey, you guys are real estate, you do loans. That's your job. Their job is to find and track an animal through the Kalahari Desert. And
a different day in the office.
But have you ever seen guys when they're successful? I mean, you just sold the best loan. You just sold the house. It was a big struggle. It was a huge success for you. These guys are like almost crying because they're successful. And it's like, damn, I mean, I'm nothing compared, but so it's life-changing because you just see them. They won. They get to go home and they get to eat. I mean, even that leopard, every single part of that leopard was eaten, including we ate the ribs, and it was good. But it's kind of I don't know. It was kind of like our Indians, but they're still that way. They respect the animal way more than we can understand. But plus maybe I saved
a kid from getting eaten.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. So that was, but they tell you what to expect when you're hunting this, and they tell you to expect shooting this while it's attacking you or coming at you to attack you. They said about 90 to 95% of the shots are within 5 feet of the truck. Now you're in desert, which is full of brush, so you really can't see that far. But so you might only have a second to a second and a half to see it, aim, and shoot it, and hopefully hit it before it jumps on the truck, and then because you're standing on the back of the truck, and then
you're on the menu.
Yeah. and you know, but all these guys, all the trackers are out, and they're running around trying to look for paw prints and try to figure out where this thing is at, until it gets so mad that it says, "Screw you, I'm coming after you," and it turns around and comes right at you. And I mean, they straight out say, if that animal is on one of these trackers, do not shoot. You'll kill the tracker. You'll probably live. He'll be tore up a bunch, but you know, they're telling you all these stories of what to expect, and or practice shooting as fast as you can, and you're shooting 5 feet from the truck, 3 feet from the truck, right next to the truck, and you got a second to get 3 shots off on a shotgun, and all this comes up. All right, I signed up for something serious, you know.
Shotgun, that's what you're using?
Yeah, so double odd buckshots. There's like 6 or 8 pellets in this shotgun shell, and yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was very much an adrenaline hunt. But again, it's based on conservation, and so, but the bear hunt, and did a goat hunt in Alaska. That just beat my body up.
Oh, dude,
But,
that goat, the big
story.
white one?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
jacked goat?
Yeah.
Dude, that one's got some traps on it,
Fucking
dude.
Arnold Schwarzenegger of goats.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because it's like you kill that thing and then you got to bring it down, right?
Yeah.
Or do you quarter it, or do you
Well, yeah. So you asked me before what was the most challenging. It was probably opening the club, but physically, that goat hunt was the hardest thing my body ever did. I could not have shot that goat at a higher point of a higher mountain in Kodiak, Alaska. It's on the same island as the bears, but different part of. We're in the very top of all these mountains, and I shot at the very peak. It was running over the top, and I shot it, and then I couldn't see it. So I had to climb all the way to the top to go find it. Luckily, I hit it, killed it. But then, yeah, we got to carry it down. You're not allowed to leave 1 ounce of meat on the bones on the top of the mountain. So you're cutting every chunk of meat, or the rib meat. You're doing everything. Put in your backpack and climbing back down the mountain. But it's a 5-day hunt, so it takes us usually a day and a half, 2 days to find them. Then you got to sneak up on them and try to shoot them, and then you got to carry it
Uh-uh.
back out. So it's not climbing straight up the mountain, or climbing straight down the mountain. It's climbing the mountain sideways. It kills you. I mean, try walking on a 40-degree slope sideways for 5 miles, and then up and then down. I mean, my knees, my hips, I paid for it for months.
I'm sure.
That's why I'm trying to get in better shape for this hunt.
Yeah. Like, what is that? What are one of those things weigh when it like?
Oh, those were probably the goat's 300 pound. The bear's 800
yeah, I was
to
gonna say, the
800
bear's a lot
plus.
bigger.
Yeah.
But geez, I mean, and now when you're up on the mountain with a goat, is it just you, or you're with a guide?
It's me and a guide.
You and a guide.
Now, the goat, since we have to carry so much meat back, we bring a third guy. Like, just his job is only to help haul meat back.
Damn.
Yeah. What a job that would be.
So if you want to get in shape and you want to,
How jacked was that guy?
he was actually a pretty tough guy. He's actually he was from northern Missouri. My guide's from Florida, lives in Florida half the time and Alaska half the time. But then this assistant guide actually lives up by Kirksville.
Oh.
It's a coincidence. So I still talk to him pretty often. But yeah, don't sign me up for that. I ain't carrying someone that's stupid.
Yeah. Can't imagine that workout.
Yeah, good thing. I mean, did you now do you miss the physical therapy at all? I mean, you probably
that's
miss
a
the
good
people,
question.
but
Yeah.
like, do you miss that, like that, doing that every day, or do you have any like?
I miss the interaction with the patients because I built my practice on fixing people that actually failed physical therapy other places. So your knee hurts and you say, "Hey, doctor, have surgery." I said, "Nope, try therapy for a while." You try therapy, it fails. And he goes, Hey, doctor, okay, I did therapy, it failed. And we just do surgery. He's like, No. Why don't you go see Scott? I think he'll fix you. And that was because every patient for me was a challenge. Probably goes back to because I would not allow myself not to fix somebody. Try everything in the book or figure out another way that could possibly work. But through that, I gained a lot of really, really close relationships with patients. And that's, so I still treat, down here across the hall right here, people that I've treated over the decades and still know who I am, where I'm at. And yeah, I miss it. I miss that interaction, but I do not miss 1 ounce of trying to collect $1 from an insurance company. Anyone's on their business on their own, all power to you. insurance companies ruin people.
Yeah.
They ruin you. I mean, it's day one. I had one girl collecting, insurance payments for 5 therapists. 9 years later, I had 3 people trying to collect the same amount of money from the same number of therapists. It's like, so I'm just, at some point, I'm like, I'm just paying more to collect the same.
Mm-hmm.
Time to sell. But I mean, it was probably the best thing I ever did in my life is open my own practice.
Well, and how long ago was that?
So I opened it in 2011.
Okay. Then you ultimately sold it
In 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank God I sold it the year before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I got lucky there.
Well,
Yeah.
And then when did you start like the custom home building and all the real estate investing? How long into that?
So I opened my club in 11. I bought my first, so I met that patient, figured out that place in Florida. I bought my first house in 12.
Okay.
And then I bought another one, I think in 14 and then 17 and 18. So every dollar that I was making in physical therapy, I was either putting it into another physical therapy clinic or I was buying a place in Florida. Or I bought some places in St. Louis too. Just putting it all into real estate.
Yeah.
You guys get it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to.
Well, I'm sure you got some pretty good deals down there in 12 and 14
You're
after
right.
after
Yeah.
all that. And things are starting to rebound a little bit, but I mean, homes were pretty cheap down there that time.
Oh yeah. About half of what they are right now.
Yeah. Good investment.
Good
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
It's a good day.
It was awesome. I wish I had about 10 more of them, but it was, everything went into real estate back then. And so then I built 5 physical therapy clinics. I was general contractor for all those constructions. I built my house, general contractor that. I built a barnuminium, and then a buddy's house. And then I managed all these houses. And so then I was pretty much the handyman of everything. But I go down to Florida, I'd work for a week or two, fix everything I possibly fix. And then, I remodeled bathrooms or just general contracted them. So I got very comfortable with that. And so then when it was time to sell, the buyer's like, well, what are you going to do? Can't do physical therapy. We've got a non-compete. So I'm like, well, I'm going into, real estate and I'm going to be a home builder because it made sense. Someone told me I couldn't do it, but I've pretty much done it.
Right.
I built my own home. I built a barn. So that's when I did that. I built 2 friends' houses and then I built 2 more houses and then I built 3 more houses. And so 2 or 3 every year.
Wow.
Yeah, with barndominiums becoming a thing, how was that process?
It's cool. I mean, I've got my house and then I got a barn in mine too. If I would put them together, it would have saved me some money. But I built a barndominium up in by Hannibal, Missouri, and it's just awesome. You have your house, your barn, everything. It does save money on the structure, and
because you can build a really nice big one for like what, 200,000 or something like that.
I mean, yeah, it depends on how much you want to put on the inside, but the framing and it makes it a lot easier when you get a square home versus with all these different corners and roof angles and all. That's what adds all these dollars. So
yeah, I wish Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would come up with some form of way of financing those because they are becoming more and more popular, especially after COVID with people moving away or buying properties away from the cities. So like where my office is located and all that down in Imperial, we're starting to see people move further and further out, want land. I mean, hell, when I sold my house, that's what I was going to do. I was going to buy some land, but yeah. So that's how I joined here.
You're right.
Right. Where did the construction experience come from? Like all the general contracting? Is that something you did when you were a kid? Were you surrounded by it? Like or just something you just kind of figured out on your own?
On my own. Yeah. No, there's no construction in my family of any kind. Maybe I just felt like I figured out how to manage people. I mean, when I owned my physical therapy practices, I had 55 employees, at one time. So, it's not easy, but when you're managing a plumber, an electrician, and there's about 50 trades that need to walk into a house, to get the majority of an average house built, and it's just, they love to say, I'll be there next Tuesday. And they love to not tell you that they didn't show up that day. So I'm like, if you're coming next Tuesday, I'm going to call you the week before, and then I'm going to call you 3 days before. I'm going to call you 1 day before. I go, don't make me look like a fool. And I'm telling the homeowner, you're going to be there tomorrow, and you didn't show up. Because that homeowner's going to walk in there Tuesday night and tell me, hey, I like what that was done, or I don't. But if nothing is done, then so.
Yeah.
I was on these people, and it's worked well. I don't think most home builders, they either have too many homes going, or spread too thin. With me, it's just like, that's my home. That's what I'm focused on. I've got usually 2 homes in 2 different kind of stages along the way. And so I can focus on, architecture, which is back and forth with an architect a million times, or I can focus on, hey, who's the next 5 trades that I need, and get them all teed up, and just kind of progressing their schedule and just staying on it. I mean, it's to be a general contractor, it's not that hard, really. It's just, can you manage the people, and you understand what needs to go next, and can you look at a plan, and can you look at work and say, yep, that was done the way it was supposed to, or no, that's not, and can you deal with the problems that an architect draws it up this way, but there's plenty of things that aren't going to end up
Right. We literally just had an architect in here right before you.
Yeah.
One of my buddies is an architect.
Yeah.
We talked about that. He's like, rarely does it actually, it's never exactly how it's drawn. You know, he's
it
like,
isn't.
it's, but it.
Yeah, we're like, what's the one thing about being an architect that he's like, you're always wrong.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, as long as you have an architect that'll continue to work through the process with you. So the guy I use, my agreement is 90% of your work is done the time the permit is approved. But I need your expert opinion for this problem, this problem, this problem. And if you're not going to be willing to give me that, then you can go work for a guy that builds 100 homes a year, and I'll find the guy who will give me that time. So
yeah, my buddy that was just in here, he likes to show up to the job sites and make sure that the guys are putting in the right things that he said that he was going to. So he's
that's awesome.
He's told me many stories where he's gone in and had to tell, no, man, that's not how I drew it. Take it out.
Well, then he's a good guy, because I can't get many architects to show up. There's a couple, but that's good.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Really good dude.
Yeah, he only focuses on the commercial side of things, so I don't know if you'd be able to get him over to build some homes.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So with the physical therapy, do you think it sharpened your understanding of the human limits and how that can fuel passion for pushing them?
I mean, the human body's tough, but I can't run a marathon, but there's a lot of people that do, and they go through a lot of pain to run the marathon. So, physical therapy gave me the ability to pursue a lot of different difficult things. Just knowing that, hey, every day is going to be a challenge. Every day is going to be painful, mentally, physically, whatever it is. I love physical therapy. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. But once you're through it and you can see the results, usually it's positive. So,
because you said you were dealing with people that had issues that the doctors weren't going to operate on. So you're dealing with some pretty serious things, right? So you thought it was obviously not torn meniscus or anything like that. Because really, I thought, why wouldn't the doctors operate on something like that?
Well,
I got a torn meniscus right now.
Yeah, they don't fix them all. I have a torn meniscus too, and I won't let a doctor cut me open.
Yeah,
just because I saw the people that it didn't go right. So just because you're gonna have surgery doesn't mean you're fixed. It might be 90% effective in some surgeries, but spine surgery is you're lucky if you get a 30 to 33% success rate across the board for all spine surgeries.
Really?
Yeah. If you let me talk to you and you're thinking about having spine surgery, Jim, Avery, I begged him not to have spine surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. He regrets it every day.
Really?
Oh yeah. But not to say you're gonna have. There's a lot of people out there that had great responses, but
that just kind of makes it kind of remarkable to think about what Tiger Woods did after his spinal fusion. That's pretty, man.
Yeah, and maybe that's the motivation you're asking about. Is can you get through it and get through that pain? But I saw mostly the people that failed surgery, or the people that doctors were afraid to do surgery on, and so that's kind of their last hope. But I took it personally. That was my job.
How did you motivate them to push through the pain like that?
That's painful. I mean, getting them to try to get motivated because nobody wants to do exercises at home.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody asks, hey, just give me some exercises. I do them at home. Well, the first 5 years of practice, I'm like, yeah, here's 10 exercises. Here's 10, 20 exercises. And then I realized no one's going to do them. So then I'm like, you really think you're going to do these exercises at home? Oh, yeah, when? Well, I should be able to do them, after work. Or you have kids? They start answering, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'll come in and do therapy. I'm not trying to talk you into therapy. Do them at home if you want, but chances are you're not. And so if you want to be successful, I at least got to try to help you get motivated. So motivating people is tough, especially employees. You guys, you don't know that.
Yeah.
How do you get your assistant to want to come to work every day? How do you want to get your therapist to say, you know what, I have lunch right now from 12 to 1, and somebody walks in off the street limping and say, okay, I'll skip lunch and I'll treat this patient. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's why we're having a hard time getting people to stick. I know that we are. No, I am finding people that are good. Like we've got our processor and assistants that have been pretty good, but trying to find other loan officers to build the team up has been a tough go.
Yeah. Now, do you have any experience with like stem cells or peptides or anything like that when it comes to physical therapy?
Yeah, peptides are newer. Stem cells, yeah, PRP, stem cells, they've been doing that for I don't know how many years, but they were doing that when I was still practicing full time. But
I feel like all that kind of stuff has gotten really popular recently. And I was just curious if you had any experience with it.
No, it's helped a fair amount of people. I don't know what is it 50%? Is it 30%? It's a significant amount it's helped. I think they're starting to figure out now, like, hey, it's good at helping these diagnoses and it's less at these. But, I've seen plenty of shoulder patients that had torn rotator cuffs, and these it helped and this it didn't. But shoulders and elbows, it seems to help a lot. Knees, everybody wants it to help in knees, but I don't know that's showing consistent findings that are, I'd say if it helped 30% of the people, that would be a good number.
Because you did the peptides in your knee, right?
Yeah, I did a BPC in my knee, but it's like I had a bucket handle tear in my knee in 22. Then they repaired it. I had the surgery. They repaired it because it was flipped up and stuck in my knee. So like I had to get surgery. And my knee was literally stuck at like a 45-degree bend, and like I couldn't straighten it, couldn't bend it anymore, and it was excruciating. Like, and they got me in like 2 days to do the surgery. Did rehab, physical therapy, did, a lot of stuff, and, was back training again, doing jiu-jitsu in 12 weeks.
Wow.
Probably a little bit quicker than I should have gone back. But then, retore it again, probably, it was probably like 6 or 7 months ago. And, or no, it was actually
right before your fight.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was last like summer, I guess, maybe August or so. And and then I went and got another MRI, and he's like, yeah, there's like a little hangnail, kind of is what it looked like on the MRI. And I've just been dealing with it every once in a while. It clicks. I just straighten my leg real hard, and it pops back, and it feels fine again. So, I'm like, I don't really feel like I need the surgery at this point. So I'm just dealing with it.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I was trying to, anyway, back to the PPC. I was shooting BPC in it just because I was like, let me just try it. It's not going to hurt, I don't think. Let me just shoot it in there every day for a month. And I don't really think it did much, but it's also like, I didn't think it's going to fix my torn meniscus. But, like, who knows if it was something else? I don't know.
They're trying to figure out really hard how to regrow cartilage, especially, the shoulders and elbows are non-weight bearing. So you don't have a 200-pound body sitting on that knee all day long.
Right.
Shoulders, they can rest. Knees
are constantly being used.
So that's why I say it's tougher for a knee to respond to a lot of those treatments.
That makes complete sense. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Just carrying your weight all day.
And you got to have, cartilage is shock absorption. You got to have that, spongy, slippery surfaces. And if it wears away, regrowing that is.
Now, can't they do meniscus replacements? Or is that just like, I feel like I've heard of that, but I don't know if it's really real.
It's not
common, right?
Yeah, and it's not accepted as a consistent, is it going to stay in there? Is it going to re-tear? The meniscus has really poor blood supply, as it, only the outer 1/3 actually has any blood supply. So most tears on the inner 1/3, or, you know, so there is no blood supply. So that's why they come in there and trim it out and they cut it out. And usually you're back pretty quick, but you now have less cartilage in your knee.
Yeah.
So the next wear and tear is only going to come faster. So
I was just worried, you know, they were like, we're going to try to repair it, you know, because you're 30, you know, like we'd like you'd probably like to have that meniscus. And I'm like, yeah,
right.
We'll fix it if we can.
And so buccal hernial tears on the outside are fairly common, but they do repair them a lot. So, but for active people that are tough, not uncommon to re-tear them.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's especially in your sport.
Yeah. The name of the game is break your bones before you break mine, you know? Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, like with baseball, they say every time I would throw a pitch, I'm partially tearing my shoulder and my elbow. Yeah, every just time, because of that. I mean, have you ever seen those pictures of like the side view?
Oh, yeah.
Of a guy from here, like I gotta find it, see if I still have it, but there's a picture that I got of myself in the side view where I'm here. My hand is below my elbow back there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where the whip comes from. But yeah, that's like, if you can get below parallel, that's like the thing, like, oh, you're gonna be able to throw over 90 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you get that whip and you get that flexibility. My hand was almost like this, but backwards. Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, that's shoulder,
elbow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it more and more these days in baseball. Did you work with any baseball players?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would assume.
Baseball, you're right, but there's also a difference between a good therapist that understands that or a trainer. That, like, for you, if you were a pitcher and you come in here, you know, normal range of motion is what you just showed, straight up and down. So I would take you to normal, and then I'd add another 90 to 120 degrees of motion, which was extremely excessive, but normal for that type of person.
Yeah.
And not every therapist, trainer, whatever, is okay taking somebody to that limit, but I love treating them because I'm like, let's push this. Let's see how we can make this tissue adapt. So.
Well, it's like I feel like there's a lot of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a lot of physical therapists out there that'll be like, well, no, you just shouldn't play baseball anymore, you know, like, or, you know, you shouldn't do jiu-jitsu, or you shouldn't wrestle.
Exactly.
Like, this is how you got hurt. You shouldn't do it, you know, like, well, you don't know me very well, because I'm going to go find someone else who's going to help me to do this, you know, like, okay, well, yeah, that's your answer. I'm finding someone else. At least that's how I would think about it.
Well, that's the thing, is like, why would you tell somebody that they can't do something? Like, find the fucking solution. Like, figure it out. Like,
to me, it's the doctor or the therapist that's afraid to treat you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're afraid they might hurt you or they might fail. No, I want the challenge. That's a motivated patient.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in there. I'm right over there with you. I'm excited.
Get back to my thing. You know, I want to
Yeah.
get back to it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure that's what most people are thinking. You know, when I was out from the surgery, it was just like, that's all I could think about. It was like just getting back to normal. I was like, I want to get back to doing my thing, you know, because I don't feel like myself when I'm not doing my thing.
Right.
I mean, for me, like, luckily, I never had any. I mean, I had a freak accident where I broke my leg. But,
Yeah, you ever seen that video?
No.
I'll show you the video of me throwing a pitch.
And you broke your leg?
Yeah, my
hyperextended
the head of my tibia, fibula, and femur fractured. Yeah, it's an ugly video, but other than that, like, nothing was torn. Didn't need surgery or anything. Very lucky. I don't know how. But yeah, no, I mean, never had any arm surgery, elbow surgery, anything like that. I think now, if I were to try and throw a slider or a curveball, I'd blow my UCL pretty quick. But yeah, I'm surprised that that I didn't. I mean, you're seeing it nowadays, and which is crazy with how hard guys are throwing. But at the same time, I don't really think, just because of the evolution of the radar gun, I think guys are still throwing the same. It just looks like it's throwing harder because of how advanced the technology is, where they're picking the ball up out of release. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, whether it's just mechanically or what. Like, I mean, I know they tried to put a limit on us, but on how much we could throw. But I didn't listen to that. No. I threw year round. I threw all the time. I might have taken like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks off at the end of the season. And then I was right back into throwing.
And you never had
a single issue. Never once.
Yeah.
They say now
that's rare, right?
The only thing I ever had was I had a little bit of bicep tendonitis.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, that's who makes it. Well, that makes it to the majors. A lot of people that just get lucky because that low percentage of pitchers are throwing curveballs that often. They just, like you said, you're just partially tearing it every throw. How tough is your ECL? What's your really in your genetics? You know, do you have strong ligaments or what? You can't I can't make your ligament stronger.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
I feel like genetics plays such a big part into everything like that. Whether it's, like just your flexibility or, because it's just, I've seen so many different people like have different injuries. Like we were talking the other day, cauliflower ear, real common thing in my sport. And, I think some people are just like more genetically like inclined to it.
Yeah.
Like there you see some guys that get it like real quick. And then you see guys that have been training for 10, 12 years and they don't have any of it. And it's just like a weird thing that I think that there's like a genetic piece to it, but it's also paired with like your style of how you do things too. If they have real grindy, pressure heavy guys, you'll notice that they have worse looking ears.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah. Kind of funny.
Yeah.
But, well, Scott, what scares you? Like truly scares you? You're such an adventurous guy. You've taken on so many challenges. Like I'm just curious for a guy like you, what really scares you?
I mean, I'm worried every day that I won't fail. I mean, this club won't fail because I'll give it everything. And, I don't see that as a potential, but that's a motivating factor for me is to give it. I mean, I don't even like saying that I give it everything I got, but because everyone says that's kind of cliche, but I'm here every day. I'm in town. I'm here all day. I'm here all morning. I mean, I'm just, whatever it takes, however many people that I can surround myself with to try to make this place a better place. We all win, but, when I'm afraid of something, I'm probably afraid of my kids getting hurt or, getting killed in an accident or something. That's probably what I'm most afraid about.
Speaking of kids, you've got 3 daughters.
Yeah.
How's being the adventurer and the hunter that you are and all that, how has that helped your relationship with your daughters?
So my oldest is, she's 18. She's tomboy. She's my best friend. I mean, she's by me all the time. She hunts with me. She'll go on any adventure, any challenge. She's working in the warehouse here with me. I mean, she's nothing's too tough for her. So it's really helped. She's, I guess, just seen how we are, and it's good with that. My next one is the opposite. She's a dancer, and that's what she likes to do, and great. I love watching her dance, and it's kind of sad to say, but guy growing up saying I hate the ballet. It's just a thing to do. I hate it. But when she does ballet, and out of all the dances she does, that's what makes me smile and tear up. So it's awesome in a different way because it's pretty much the opposite. My third daughter, I haven't figured out yet which direction she's gonna go. She's 12, so she's gonna go more anti, the oldest, or more in the middle. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But, yeah, those kids, especially when you have daughters, I don't know how tough you are. They've made me softer than anything. So,
I just think kids, I was telling someone the other day, I just feel like it makes you, you just never really realize how vulnerable and like how dangerous the world is until you have kids.
Yeah.
Like you kind of, there's just death around every corner, like you don't think about it when you're an adult, but like when you have kids and you're responsible for these little lives, like my kids are real young, and I just see like just walking through a parking lot, like just stuff like that. You just don't even think about being dangerous until you're like, oh shit, I got to hold this 2-year-old's hand because he's just going to run out there. He doesn't know. And, that's something I've noticed since becoming a dad. It just makes you I'm way more aware of danger and like just how dangerous the world is.
Yeah, it is. It sucks in a lot of ways, but 1 millisecond goes the wrong way. I mean, you're going to have a different perspective on life real fast. So
sure.
Yeah. Kids do that to you.
Yeah. So, speaking of children, and staying on that, I mean, what's it like raising daughters? I guess it's obviously you don't know because you don't have boys, but in terms of, like you said, being a tough guy and being a man's man and things like that, I mean, you mentioned it softening you up. How else has it changed you?
Well, I mean, I'm tough on my daughters. I mean, I'm probably tougher than that on them than most of my friends are on their boys. I just have high expectations of them, but it's made me, you know, I understand that girls are just as tough as boys and can be if they want to be. But yeah, it's softened me up. It's gotten me to understand that you don't always have to be a tough guy. You can, I went probably 20 years without crying, from the time way before my kids to they're probably, 5 years ago. And it's kind of hard to admit, by the way.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
like I've probably cried more times in the last 3 years than I probably have my whole life.
Yeah.
Since I've had kids.
That's definitely the most drastic thing that's had an effect on me. So.
With a house full of women, how has that changed your perspective on women?
Well, I grew up with 4 brothers. There's 5 boys in my family. Went to an all-guy high school. And then, all my older siblings and in-laws all had boys. And so I'm the first one to have a girl, and then another girl, and another girl. And then my other brothers continue to just have boys. So it was a drastic change from boys, and I didn't even think girls pooped until I had a kid, But it's definitely a challenge figuring it out. But now that I've had 3 girls, I'd never want a boy.
Yeah.
Do I wish I could throw a football? My daughter throws footballs with me. She goes fishing, she goes hunting with me. So, if you're enjoying as an adult, if you're enjoying what you love to do, or you show off what you love to do, there's probably the same chance if it's a boy or a girl that's going to say, "Hey, I want to enjoy that with you," or not. I think it's the same chance. I think most guys think that I need a boy to throw a football with, but I don't agree with that.
Yeah, awesome, Scott. It's been amazing having you here, man. Had a lot of fun. I've been waiting for this one for a while, so we appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, and but before we get you out of here,
play a little game at the end called the Tombstone Game. Here lies Scott. What do you want to say on your tombstone?
Oh, question. Something about I stepped out of my comfort zone. That's where I think I took the correct turn, and so whether it's telling somebody or encouraging, but this guy made a turn sometime in his life that he wouldn't ever want to take that same leap of faith or step out of your comfort zone. Long, boring, stupid answer, but
it's perfect.
Perfect.
I love it, man. Well, thanks again, Scott.
Thanks
It was great having you on here. And for all of you guys watching, please click that subscribe button for us. That would help us out a ton. Click that like button as well. Comment what you thought below, and we will see you next time.